Hi, Lee Phillips here. I'm an attorney. Like I've always said, don't hold that against me. What we're going to talk about for 2 seconds is making a trust the beneficiary of your IRA. Now, since the 2020 Act, the Secures Act says no, we're not going to let the beneficiaries of the IRA go on forever during their lifetime. We used to stretch the IRA over the lifetimes of the beneficiaries. And that was good because we could keep the money growing in this tax-free, tax-deferred environment. Secures Act said, no, everybody's got to take it out within 10 years after the individual dies. So we name the kids. They each get their 1/3 of dad's IRA. They have to, one, take required minimum distributions during their lifetime. And two, they have to take all that money out within 10 years. So they need to do some calculations and see if it's more advantageous for them to take it all out now and pay the tax or stretch it over the 10-year period. Now, if it's Roth, it's easy. We just pay it out over the 10-year period, pay it out now, doesn't matter, no tax. But if it's a traditional IRA, then we've got the tax. Now, the question is, should we name the living revocable trust as the beneficiary of the IRA? And it has advantages and disadvantages. If I name the kids beneficiaries and one of the kids dies with me in the automobile accident or dies before I do, then the bank, the custodian of the IRA, they don't know what to do with it because it doesn't say specifically that if Mary dies, her share goes to her kids. I can easily say that in the trust, and the trust normally says that. So if I make the trust the beneficiary, I'm not too worried about these family dynamics, one guy dying. It's automatically taken care of in the trust if your trust is written right. And Mary's share would go to her kids. So if there's family issues, the trust is better. If I have 3 kids and they're all alive and well and doing okay, fine, let's name them as the beneficiaries. If one of them dies, I need to go in and I need to redo the beneficiary designations. So make sure you think that way. If I make the trust the beneficiary, the money can go to the trust. Now, there doesn't have to be any special language in the trust. The trust is just named in the IRA documents as the beneficiary. And you're going to remember, it's name of trust, date of trust, trustee. Got to have all 3 of those elements in order to make it work. So I named the trust as the beneficiary. When Dad dies, the money is paid out to the trust. Or the money stays in the account and it's paid out 1/10 at a time to the trust, or however the trustee wants it to be paid out. Whatever's most advantageous tax-wise, income tax-wise, for the beneficiaries. That's what you need to be looking at. Now, the trust does have 10 years, like everybody else. The separate beneficiaries, their share, they'll have to take their required minimum distribution based upon their lifetime for the piece that they're going to get, that the beneficiary gets. If the trust is what's called a see-through trust, and that's just a trust, one, it becomes irrevocable upon Dad's death, and 2, we can easily see who the beneficiaries are. It's see-through. So if it's the standard living trust, that's what happens, becomes irrevocable on Dad's death. We can easily see who the beneficiaries are. So generally, it's going to be this 10-year period that the trustee can play with the IRA. At the end of 10 years, IRA's got to come out. Any tax owed on whatever's left, it hits the beneficiaries that year. So use the trust as the beneficiary. That's okay. It's okay to name the kids, but if something happens to one of the kids, then I got a problem. Don't have that problem with the trust. If for some reason the trust was not considered a see-through trust, then the trust only has 5 years to to take the money out of the IRA and pay the tax. So you got to kind of watch that, but you're probably okay. It's going to be a 10-year period. Don't worry about it. No special language in the trust that talks about IRAs or anything. It's just an asset of the trust that the trustee is given authority to manage. So, you need to learn how to use the trusts. And I've got an ebook out on how to use a trust, even if you've got a trust. Please read this. It's about 25 pages, something like that. Not a big deal. But it teaches you what to do with the trust. And the fact is, most of the trusts fail because the owners the attorney didn't sit them down, legal doom, wherever they got their trust. They didn't sit them down and teach them how to use the trust. I have to teach you how to use the trust. Get the How to Use a Trust ebook. It's free. Just click on it. Don't forget to subscribe and tell us that you love us. All of that sort of stuff. This is Lee Phillips. I've been talking about making a trust the beneficiary of your IRA.